if you are manifesting a romantic relationship or anything SP related, and especially if you're still learning about manifestation and how the law of assumption works, chances are that you still come across dating experts online who give dating advice to people in order to help them. Absolutely. But there are things that you hear a lot, and there's this one specific dating advice that is very, very common, and not just coming from dating experts, but this is something that you probably hear from friends, family, and everyone around you, that I find very problematic, seeing it from a conscious manifestor's perspective. I am going to, of course, tell you what this very common dating advice is. I am going to explain to you why it doesn't work and why it's problematic. And of course, also going to give you solutions, what you can do instead to solve the problem in a way that that will really solve it, so that you don't have to deal with it over and over again. That is what we do a lot in law of assumption. When you realize that you're consciously manifesting, you know that okay, this is regardless of you knowing about the law of assumption or not, every problem has a solution. It's just that when you're conscious of manifesting, the solutions are often not the ones that you're or we have been used to. So first of all, please subscribe to the channel, help me spread the message. I would really appreciate that. And let's talk about it. I have lots of experience in coaching clients, especially about relationships. A lot of people who get coaching are manifesting relationships, mostly romantic, right? And so I have worked with so many people that I have lots of information about this, ex- except from what I have manifested myself, right? I have worked with lots of people from different cultures, um, different backgrounds, who manifested their relationship, and the process of it has been so interesting to see. Now, back to the beginning. When whenever you have any problem with a romantic partner, whether it be something that has just begun or not, something that you have been in for a long time, if you go to a dating expert, there is a big chance that what you hear them, like probably one of the first things they tell you is, if the person doesn't treat you right, find someone better. And you hear this from your friends, you hear this from family. If there is any problem in the relationship and it's maybe not being solved, um, you often hear, you deserve better and you should find someone better. And of course, you absolutely deserve better. When knowing that you can manifest anything, you absolutely should manifest the biggest happiness and the biggest well-being for yourself, which is absolutely possible. But this one specific advice specifically doesn't work, because knowing the law of assumption is knowing that everyone is you pushed out. So if there is a problem in a relationship, you are the I don't mean to sound like I'm blaming you for the problems that you're having, but you need to understand and take responsibility for your manifestations. You can only experience what you manifest. You can't experience in the physical something that you don't manifest. So if something is happening on the outside, you have an assumption about it. If you take the advice and you leave the person in order to find someone better, chances are that you are going to take your assumptions that put you in that situation where you manifested a problem with you to the next relationship, and to the next, and to the next, and maybe not only romantic relationships, but jobs, friendships, etc. The reason being is everyone is you pushed out. And regardless of anything, like whether we like it or not, everyone is us pushed out. Not just everyone, everything. And in any relationship, the assumptions can be different. What I have seen with most clients, maybe if not all, just just to be sure, let's say not all, but probably 99% of all my clients who have manifested romantic relationships that have had problems. Of course, you go to a coach when you have a problem that you need to solve. The problem has been self-concept. And a lot of people don't want to hear about self-concept. It sounds boring, that they don't want to work on it. But once they do, everything changes. The reason is that your self-concept is what is going to be reflected back to you from everyone and everywhere, not just your romantic partner. What happens then is when your self-concept, maybe some limiting beliefs that start manifesting and creates problems, the risk is that from that situation, you also create assumptions about the person, that the person just behaves like that they are fill in the blank because they behave like that. But if you go back and if you go deeper, that was a manifestation from some limiting beliefs that you had about yourself, that men or women just treat you like this, or even more general, that um, all relationships start like that. Everyone has problems. How many times have you not heard, oh, everyone fights sometimes, like everyone has arguments here and there. Why do we keep these assumptions? Assumptions manifest, and you are no one forces you to have these assumptions. You can actually not have an assumption that says in a relationship we have to argue sometimes. You don't have to. It's just an assumption. But that assumption is going to manifest exactly that in your relationship. So if you have assumptions like this and you leave the person, I'm not advocating for any toxic you staying in a toxic situation or any bad behavior, but just know that even if you chose, and yes, you can choose to leave the person and find a better one, maybe for whatever reason. But in between that, you need to work on those assumptions so that you don't take the problems with you to the next relationship. This is exactly the reason why people keep having the same problem with different people, right? By the way, I have some people working on the roof. They are making some noises. I hope you don't hear it. That's why I have my earbuds in. I really hope it doesn't go in, but it might. So just so you know. So yeah, this is exactly why I find this advice problematic, because a dating expert that tells you, you deserve better, you should find someone better, they tell you to help you because of course they don't mean you harm. They don't want you to take your problems with you. It's just that people don't know that you are operating from the law of assumption, and everything on the external in your life comes from your inner world, from your imagination, from yourself, from the deepest of yourself. And therefore, a better way to solve this is to go back to yourself. I am in a situation, this is just an example, of course. I am in a situation with this person and we are having this problem. It can be communication, it can be whatever else. It helps far more for you to ask questions to yourself as to why you are manifesting a situation like that with that person, because the person is you pushed out. This is something very important to understand, regardless of you manifesting a romantic partner or not. It goes with everyone, even with your boss or with your parents, with your children. What assumptions am I having that is manifesting this problem? And how does it make me feel? Am I feeling unloved? Am I feeling rejected? Am I feeling disrespected? Am I feeling whatever else? Whatever you're feeling, that is your limiting belief. That is going to manifest with this person or with the next person or with the fifth person you're with. Therefore, going back and changing the assumptions that you're having about yourself, about relationships in general, if you have those, a lot of people have assumptions like men are just like this, women are like that. Not every person has general assumptions about men and women. I, for example, am one of those lucky people who just don't have general assumptions about men and women. I don't know where it started with me. It was way before I knew manifestation. I realized that men and women are different. They are different men, they are different women. So it's not like all men are the same and all women are the same. We women don't like it when people say, "Oh, every woman is the same," or we. I don't like it because I always said, you know, women are different. I am different than other women, and I think that's the the reason that I then came to the conclusion that if I say that we women are different, then men are also different. So I didn't buy into the idea that all men have the something negative that they all do. If they're different, they're different. But this doesn't mean that if you are thinking like this, for example, it doesn't mean that you don't have other problematic assumptions that are can potentially manifest problems in a relationship. Um, it can be very specific to yourself that maybe you're not lucky in love, or maybe there's something that is unlovable about you, etc. If you have these assumptions, just realize that they are assumptions and you can change them. And also realize that the self concept that manifested problems might also have created assumptions for you about the person that now you are viewing the person differently, in a way that is problematic, in a way that I have heard so many clients say to me, but I can't imagine him being kind and loving to me because he behaves like this. That's not how it works. It's the opposite. You have to change the way you view the person so that the person changes. Again, don't stay in anything toxic, but also don't take the assumptions with you, right? So a better solution is to change these assumptions, change the way you feel in the moment when the problem happens, change the way you think about the situation, start focusing on all the already solved solution situation, and you will see how your 3D will shift and follow your new assumptions. Because back to the basics of manifestation, if um, if your imagination creates reality, if your imagination manifests your reality, anything you want to change in the physical, you have to go back and change it inside your imagination, in your mind. When you change that, and oh, by the way, how many times have you not heard, if you're studying manifestation, that 3D is just your old assumptions that are manifesting now? The same happens with your new and better assumptions. Once repeated them, felt them true, etc., whatever you're doing, it sinks in, they become your old story, and that becomes on autopilot, just like the limiting beliefs have been on autopilot for a while. And when you do this, you solve the problem at its core. You solve the problem in a way that it doesn't have to repeat it. Going from one situation to the next situation is not going to solve the problem. You're just changing the physical situation of it. Your core assumptions are with you. You can't run away from yourself. You're taking yourself with you, and yourself is exactly what manifests everything on the external that you ever experience. So the best place to solve anything is in your mind, because that is then going to reflect back to you. from your external reality, from your romantic partner, from anyone else that you're surrounded with, and from every situation. The same goes for everything else you're manifesting, your health, your wealth, your whatever. Fill in the blank. This is the way it works. So I really, really hope that this was helpful and inspiring for you to solve the problems at its core. I don't want you to keep reliving the same problem over and over again. Once the problem is solved and once the new assumption is created, that is going to be on autopilot for you. And that is the best way to live your life. So once again, I really hope you enjoyed this. I really hope this was helpful and inspiring. Subscribe for more videos like this. I really, really intend to keep manifestation as simple as it's meant to be and practical so that you can apply the methods that I have tested for years myself and for several years with different clients to your own manifestations right away. There's no reason to complicate this or overcomplicate this. So subscribe and see you in the next video.